I'm going to show you how we can set up the infrastructure level CI/CD in GitHub and AWS using the GitHub and AWS code pipeline. So we can say infrastructure level CI/CD. So for that, like, my approach is very straightforward. So what is the typical way for set up these things is like we have account A. So we want to deploy, this is the, let's consider this is the development account, right? So this is the development account A. So what is happening here? So we have like the GitHub code present here, like GitHub repo, and we just deploy the things to the AWS account while locally. So local approach is the best approach what typical people choose. So you can see here what they will do, they just do the here like Terraform plan, Terraform init from their local devices. So what they will do, Terraform init, then they will do Terraform plan and Terraform apply. So this setup is like the good setup, but there are some drawbacks of this setup, we can say, because this setup does not implement the good practices of the CI/CD pipeline. So like this is the for development account 7, and we have the same setup for the production account as well in most of the cases. Like I just have to draw some lines here. So in that way you can see there, this is my development account, right? So what they will do, they will create the same setup for the production account as well. So this is like means from the local deployment, this is easy and we can do that as well. So we have here the production account. Let me try this. Okay, so the same setup is going everywhere. So we manage this GitHub repo via branch or via separate repository. For development account we have created the separate GitHub repository for the Terraform code, and for the production account we have created separate repository. So this approach is very good, but there is few drawbacks here. Like we can't implement the best practices of the CI/CD pipeline here. Best practices CI/CD in terms of like we can't maintain the one artifact principle. We can't go same production code to the everywhere. Also we can't set up the, or we can hotfix easily, but that create some security issues as well. If some developer like going to hotfix something, and this will break our entire infrastructure as well. So this is very risky environment to work on that. So what my approach is like, my approach is easy, simple, and with my approach you can follow the best CI/CD practice and best implementation of your infrastructure. So let me going to explain you to how we can set up the CI/CD in good way, in the way that we can implement the best CI/CD practices. So here we have the GitHub code. Like it should be the one repository code, we can say, because we can manage one repository for everything, like with the help of branches. So let me use here GitHub. So what we can do, here we have like different branches. One is for the development branch, one is for testing branch, and one is for production branch. These are three branches. When developer want to implement something on the testing environment or the development environment, they can create the pull request to the development environment. If they want to create something for testing, and if they want to create something for production, they can create the production environment. But pipeline is very straightforward. Why I am creating the three branch here? Because sometimes what is happened. So sometimes like we can create. Let's say we need to create the one EC2 for deploying or managing our infrastructure or managing our jump server. So what is happening here, for the development account we choose the instance type is like the T2 micro, and for testing account also we choose the instance type is like T2 micro. But for production account, because of the workload increases, we need a higher instance type than that. So why we can save, or why we can use the higher instance type in every environment? If we can use the same code everywhere, so that will the drawback of this. So if you use the same code here, then we can't change the instance type on the production as per the development account. So but because of this approach, we can easily like implement, or we can easily choose the instance type which is required based on the account requirement, because development is account is only for the development and testing is only for the testing. There is no high traffic present on that account, but the production account has some production workload, so that's why the high traffic is coming on. So that's why I'm creating the 3 different branches based on that environment. So GitHub will, what GitHub will do, GitHub will do, or GitHub will push our code to the AWS S3. This bucket should be present on every means one of this account, or this bucket should present on the separate account which is called the log management account or something, the different account as well. There is no need to like use here. So here we can say we have S3, we can say development account S3, because this bucket is we required for like deploying the resources. So here once the GitHub, what GitHub will do, GitHub action runs here, we can say GitHub action, and GitHub action will like zip this file, zip my all repository file which contain all the environment, create a zip file and push it to S3. We can set up this thing using the GitHub actions. So there is the code is also present for, if you Google it, you can easily get those code. So you can, with the help of that, you can like easily get those code and deploy it to the S3. Once that code is deployed to the S3, what is here? Once that code is deployed, something changes present in S3. So my code pipeline will, my code source will automatically detect that. Code source is one of the resources or one of the service which is provided by the code pipeline, which are present in your AWS environment. So what you need to do, you just need to go to the AWS code pipeline service. There you can set up, you can configure the code source, code pipeline and everything. So let me create this block a little bit higher. So you can see here the code source. Once something is happening in S3 bucket, the code source will automatically detect that changes and start trigger my pipeline. So once that my pipeline is start triggering, we have the code source, then we have code build, and then we have the code apply. So here you can see here the code source will start triggering my pipeline, and code build will plan my entire infrastructure using the Terraform plan. In the code source, code build, we set up the planning phase like Terraform plan, and here code apply will be apply my Terraform code to the respective environment. Means this is the development environment with this all resources which are present in the AWS code pipeline. So if you see here like what I did, so here like this all the resources present on code pipeline. So what I did here, the once the GitHub developer push the changes to the any branch, and that branch to merge to the main branch will release the new version of this. Once the new version will release, new version will be automatically create a zip file, push it to the S3 bucket, and then code source will automatically show the detect that changes and explaining her like, okay, this new zip file comes, new version of the S3 is updated, object is updated, so I am going to trigger the code pipeline. So code source will trigger my pipeline, code build will do init and plan command which can show, okay, these resources which we are going to deploy as per this zip file. Because the everything Terraform backend we already set up that, right? So Terraform backend will automatically know that, okay, this infrastructure present and this is the new resources which I need to create. Once that code build is there, and then the code pipeline will like the push or deploy my changes to the respective all the development account. Once that code pipeline deploy the changes, code pipeline, then again the like the same thing is happened to the testing account. So what is happen here, once that code pipeline will start triggering these changes, let me create this, okay, once that code pipeline will trigger or these changes, or the code pipeline deploy these changes, my changes will automatically again trigger the pipeline of the testing account code source. So what is happen here, once that code apply is done, code apply will trigger the next account code source. So once that next account core source is start executing, then what next account core source will do, then again it will take the resources from the S3, take that zip file from the S3 and start building the resource on the testing environment as well. So once that build happen on the testing environment, then it will again start executing for the deploying resources on the testing environment. So same thing is happen, on resources will automatically deploy to the test environment. Once that is done, then the test account code apply will automatically trigger my production account core source. Once that production account core source is triggered, then it will start get the all the S3, get the zip from S3. It will start building the Terraform plan, Terraform init. My production account code build will start executing this command and start doing that. Once that happen is done or plan is done, then my Terraform or production account code apply will start deploying the resources to the respective environment. In that way, we can easily deploy the three resources or easily deploy the resources from one repository to three respective environment one by one with the help of the proper CI/CD pipeline. Here you can see here, if some developer come and say, okay, I need to fix this in production on the hotfix level, right? So what we need to do, we need to trigger all this pipeline, and our code is go from the development to testing and then production. So if developer is not doing the hotfix, or it's not possible in this infrastructure to do a hotfix, so it will minimize our risks. In that way, we are minimizing the risks and we are implementing the Terraform CI/CD in a good way. I also write blog on it. You can also take my blog and see like how we can deploy it. There I mention all the step-by-step explanation how we can do that. So I will put that my blog link in description below. You can check that. Thank you.